Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Good day guys, and welcome to yet another Fusion Mobile e-learning class. Of course, this is Civic Education and my name is Abubakar Abdul. In this video, we are going to be looking at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is the UDHR. We'll be looking at the history of the UDHR, that's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We'll be looking at 30 articles of the UDHR created for young people. We'll be looking at 7 core freedoms of the UDHR. We'll be looking at responsibility of the individual, group, and government in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, first of all, let's look at the history of the UDHR. But before we look at the history of the UDHR, talking about Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of course, you know, when we talk about rights, we are talking about entitlement. Something I have a right to is something that I am entitled to. And as a citizen of Nigeria, I am entitled to some rights. Take, for instance, as Nigerians during the election, we all go out and vote because we are Nigerians and we have that right to go out and do so. But as Nigerians, we cannot go to Ghana and vote. It's still a process of election, but we do not have the right to vote in Ghana. Therefore, we can't. So our right as Nigerians, what we are entitled to, we can enjoy, but when we don't have that entitlement, we cannot enjoy it. Now we know what rights are. Human rights are entitlement that are owed women, that are owed to human, entitlement that they have, either expectations from the government that they're supposed to respect their rights as humans and all that, or even from individuals and all. Now let us look at the history of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As I'm reading it out to you, you're going to see graphics pop up on your screen so that you'll be reading with me. So now we'll first look at the background of the UDHR, and then properly we'll look at the history of the UDHR, but I'll try as much as possible to make it as summarized as possible. So now let us look at the background of the UDHR. Now, the background of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights can be traced back to Cyrus the Great, first king of ancient Persia, who conquered the city of Babylon. He freed all slaves and asked them to return to their homes and declared that people should choose their own religion. This declaration of 539, that's 539 BC, which he put in a clay tablet known as the Cyrus Cylinder, is still hailed as the first human rights declaration in history. The next was the Magna Carta of England in 1215, when King John was forced to restrict his powers and transferred power from the king to the people, giving people new rights and making the king subject to the law. It was a national law signed by King John himself. In 1628, there was the Petition of Rights, another declaration which set out the rights of the people. This was followed by the United States Declaration of Independence in 1776, which proclaimed the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In 1789, a revolution took place which changed the face of Europe and affected the whole world. It was called the French Revolution and was fought by the peasants against the rich aristocrat of France. It brought about the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizens in 1789, stating that all citizens are equal under the law. Then, in 1948, there was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the first document listing the 30 rights to which everyone is entitled to. A bit later, I'm going to show you some of these 30 rights. A graphic, of course, is going to pop up on your screen showing you the simplified version of those 30 rights. But before then, let's look at the history proper of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, after the World War I, that is from 1914 to 1918, that led to the loss of lives and great suffering of people, the League of Nations was created to unite the people of the world, heal war wounds, and prevent a reoccurrence of another world war. Yet in 1939, World War II broke out and millions of people died. The League of Nations failed to prevent the war and was scrapped as a world body. In its place, another body called the United Nations Organization was set up to achieve world peace and freedom. During that war, countries of the world, the Allies, fought against Germany that caused the war and her supporter, Japan. The Allies adopted freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom from fear, and freedom from want as their basic war aim. When the atrocities committed by the Nazi, that's Germany, became alarming, more freedoms were added to the original ones. A universal declaration that specified the rights of individuals was put together by a committee led by Eleanor Roosevelt, that's the wife of the then President of the United States of America, Franklin Roosevelt. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations on December 10, 1948, and it consists of 30 articles. The United Nations went further to create international laws to protect human rights. This process took the United Nations almost 20 years to accomplish. These international laws are binding on all nations that belong to the United Nations. That is why the basic laws of many nations today include the rights contained in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A section of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria itself contains these rights. The adoption of the Universal Declaration is a significant international commemoration marked each year on December 10 and is known as International Human Rights Day. That's basically the brief history of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, let us look at the 30 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 30 articles, simplified versions. You're just going to see a list. It's going to pop up on your screen right now of all these 30 articles: the right to life, right to this, right to this, right to this. So you're going to see them on your screen right now. So it's going to take maybe some seconds, or maybe a minute at least, so you can go through all these articles. So here is the 30 simplified version of the 30 articles. So welcome back from that, and I hope you paid keen attention to all those 30 lists. I mean a list of 30 articles, that simplified version of the 30 articles created by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights for young people. Now let us move to 7 core freedoms of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now when we say core freedom, anytime you hear someone says core, they're talking about the most important. The most important. When we say, okay, this is my core business, this is my most important business, this is my core reason, this is my most important reason, this is my core fear, this is the biggest fear I have, or something like that. So when they say core freedom, that's the most important freedoms of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So there are 7 of them, and they include: number 1, that is the right to life; number 2, freedom of speech; number 3, freedom of assembly; number 4, freedom from fear; number 5, freedom from want; number 6, freedom from discrimination; and number 7, freedom of movement. These are the 7 core freedoms of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, okay, this is basically the last item we are going to handle. That's responsibility of the individual, group, and government in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But before then, a question is going to pop up on your screen right now, and I'm sure you're going to answer it without difficulty. Remember, if you get lost, always go back to the beginning of the video and watch it all over again, and I'm sure you're going to have clarity. So here's the question. Welcome back from that question, and I'm confident you answered that without difficulty. So now let's take on our last subtopic, that's responsibility of the individual, group, and government in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Of course, we all have responsibilities as individuals, as a group, and also when it comes to the government of a country. We all play certain roles. We have roles that we play as regard the Universal Declaration of Human rights. So now I'm going to start from the individual, and then we'll look at the group, and then we'll look at the government. So while I'm saying out this role, of course, on the screen, they're going to be popping up on your screen. So from the beginning of the individual till the government, you're just going to see them popping on your screen so that you will see it and you will hear it at the same time. So now let's look at the roles of the individual in the Universal Declaration of Independence. First role of the individual is study and know your fundamental human rights and the articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Number 2, individuals who know their rights must help teach others. Number 3, advocacy through the print and electronic media can go a long way in creating awareness about the UDHR. Number 4, individuals can equally play important roles by starting human rights group in their states, neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces. Number 5, individuals can report cases of human rights abuses to the police, Public Complaints Commission, and other human rights organizations. And then finally, you must be an example to others. All these are roles of the individual when it comes to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now let's look at the roles of group in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These roles include: a strong civil society plays an important role in protecting the rights of citizens. Number 2, groups can channel advocacy through the print and electronic media. Number 3, groups can use demonstrations to speak out against abuses in government and other forms of abuses. Number 4, groups can organize a forum from time to time and educate people on human rights, workshops, seminars, all this awareness program. These are some of the roles of group in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now finally, let us look at the role of government in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This role include: government should enact laws that will protect and ensure that human rights and freedom of individuals are maintained. Number 2, government can play another good role in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by establishing agencies such as NABTEB and the Legal Aid Council. Number 3, independence of the judiciary. Number 4, government should ensure that freedom of press is guaranteed. Number 5, another role government can play in the UDHR is checking the excesses of overzealous security operatives. And then finally, government should tackle poverty and hunger so that people do not die of starvation. People do not die of starvation. These are some of the roles of government in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I hope this video has been very helpful to you. Remember, I said earlier, if you are lost at any point, you can always go back to the beginning of the video and watch it again. Then you have clarity and you understand it better. As always, my name is Abdul. Some questions are going to pop up on your screen right now, and I'm sure you're going to answer them without any difficulty. Until I see you in the next video, bye bye for now.